Chungwa akiwa ndiye kiongozi wa wengi katika bunge hili la taifa. Na tunapozungumzia kamati ya bunge nzima, ni kufahamishe mtazamaji kwamba mojawapo wa kazi muhimu ya kazi ya bunge nzima ni kujadili na sio uchunguzi. Hili unapoangazia hili utambua kwamba vile vile jukumu na mamlaka ya kamati ya bunge nzima ni pamoja na kuzingatia maswali au miswada iliyorejeshwa kwake na bunge kwa kuzingatia maagizo yoyote iliyopewa na bunge kupitia kwa spika, na vile vile kamati hii utambua kwamba haiwezi kuahirisha mkutano wa bunge au kuahirisha kuzingatia kwake mswada kwa mkutano ujao usipokuwa kamati ama ripoti kwa bunge na kuzingatia kwake. Kwenye orodha ya shughuli leo hii vile vile ni kufahamisha kwamba bunge linatarajiwa kuangazia mswada wa mamlaka ya dawa za Kenya, mswada nambari 54 wa mwaka 2022 ambao unasomwa kwa mara ya pili. Mswada huu umeandaliwa na Mheshimiwa Robert Pukose, mbunge wa Entebes, na ufahamu ya kwamba mswada huu wa mamlaka ya madawa ya Kenya unalenga kuweka mfumo wa kina wa kudhibiti dawa nchini. Nikujuze tu kwamba kikao hiki cha alasiri huanza majira saa 8:30, na utakumbuka ya kwamba ikiwa ni siku ya Jumatano pana kuwepo na vikao viwili, kikao cha asubuhi tangia majira saa 3:30 asubuhi na kikao cha alasiri ambacho huanza majira ya saa 8:30 alasiri. So muda wote kuanzia sasa hivi tutakuwa tunatarajia kuona ikiwa akidi itakuwa inafikiwa, basi kikao hiki kinatarajiwa kuanza muda wote kuanzia sasa hivi. Na nikufahamisha kwamba utakumbuka Jumatano iliyopita kikao cha alasiri kiliongozwa naye first chairperson ambaye ni Mheshimiwa Martha Wangari Juma lilopita. Yeye ndiye alikuwa amekalia kiti cha spika, lakini leo hii ninavyotazama namuona spika wa bunge hili Mheshimiwa Daktari Moses Masika Wetangula anaingia kwenye ukumbi, ishara tosha kwamba leo hii Mheshimiwa spika wa bunge hili Moses Masika Wetangula ndiye atakayekuwa anaongoza kikao hiki alasiri hii ya leo. Nitakuwa na kurejesha ukumbini ili tuweze kupata ufunguzi, ikiwa ni maombi.
Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu ambaye kwa hekima na wema wako umetoa nyadhifa za viongozi na mabunge kwa ustawi wa jamii na utawala wa haki wa wanadamu, tukusihi utazame kwa neema nyingi sisi watumishi wako ambao wameridhika kutuita ili tutekeleze shughuli muhimu za jamhuri yetu. Tunakuomba uteremshie baraka zako sisi tuliokutanika hapa, na utujalie tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote yakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako ziendelezwe, na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Sergeants, ring the quorum bell.
Spika wa bunge Mheshimiwa Daktari Moses Masika Wetangula ameamrisha kukirizwa kwa kengele ili kuhakikisha kwamba akidi inafikiwa. Wakati ambapo amri hiyo inatoka, inakuwa ni ishara tosha ya kwamba akidi haijaweza kufikiwa, na utakumbuka ya kwamba akidi ya bunge hili la taifa ni wabunge 50. Hivyo basi wakati ambapo kengele inakirizwa ni kufahamisha kwamba baadhi ya hoja ama shughuli zingine ambazo zitakuwa zinashughulikiwa alasiri ya leo ni pamoja na mswada wa marekebisho ya pili kuhusu kuzuia na kudhibiti saratani. Huu ni mswada nambari 45 wa mwaka 2022 ambao utakuwa unasomwa kwa mara ya pili na umeweza kuandaliwa na Mheshimiwa Abdul Daud ambaye tayari nimeona akiweza kuingia katika ukumbi huu, huyu akiwa ni mbunge wa Imenti Kusini. Mswada huu unalenga kurekebisha kifungu cha 5 cha sheria kuu kwa kupanua wigo wa majukumu ya taasisi ya taifa ya saratani ili kujumuisha kuhamasisha matumizi ya afya ya kielektroniki na telemedicine katika matibabu ya ugonjwa wa saratani na kutia nguvu matibabu kwa ugonjwa wa saratani kama huduma ya msingi ya afya. Kwingineko ni kufahamisha mtazamaji ya kwamba kuna mswada wa marekebisho ya Baraza la Taifa la Vijana nambari 1 wa mwaka 2023 ambao umeandaliwa na Mheshimiwa Joshua Kandie, mbunge wa Baringo ya Kati. Lengo kuu la mswada huu ni kurekebisha sheria ya Baraza la Vijana la Kitaifa ili kuondoa wanachama wa Baraza la Vijana la Kitaifa kwa kuruhusu kuajiri kwa ushindani wa vijana wanaohudumu katika baraza hilo kupitia afisi ya wakurugenzi wa vijana wa kaunti. Kwingineko kwenye orodha ya shughuli katika alasiri ya leo ni kwamba kutakuwepo na mswada wa ardhi uliofanyiwa marekebisho, mswada nambari 40 wa mwaka 2022, mswada ambao umeandaliwa na Mheshimiwa Simon King'ara kutoka Ruiru, utakuwa unasomwa kwa mara ya pili. Mswada huu unataka kufanyia marekebisho ya sheria ya ardhi nambari 6 ya mwaka 2012 ili kutoa kwamba pale ambapo ardhi ya umma imetolewa kwa shirika la umma au taasisi ya umma na tume ya kitaifa ya ardhi kwa madhumuni ya umma, au pale ardhi ambayo imetengwa na watu au makampuni ya ununuzi wa ardhi kwa madhumuni ya umma, msajili wa ardhi chini ya ardhi sheria ya usajili 2012, basi hapo msajili atatoa cheti cha umiliki au cheti cha kugodisha katika fomu iliyowekwa. Kwingineko kuna mswada wa mabadiliko ya tume ya utumishi wa umma, mswada nambari 6 wa mwaka 2023. Mswada huu umetengenezwa na utakuwa unawakilishwa na Mheshimiwa Benjamin Gadhiru, mbunge wa Embakasi ya Kati, ambao utakuwa unasomwa kwa mara ya pili. Lengo kuu la mswada wa tume ya utumishi wa umma ni kufahamisha kwamba mtazamaji, ni kurekebisha sheria ya tume ya utumishi wa umma ya mwaka 2017 ili kuagizia umri wa lazima wa miaka 60 katika sheria hiyo. Mabadiliko haya yanakusudiwa kuongeza nafasi za kazi zinazopatikana kwa raia wa Kenya walio chini ya umri wa miaka 60. Amuona Mheshimiwa Olwoch wa Mathare tayari anaingia katika ukumbi huu, napozidi kusubiria kuona ikiwa tutaweza kufikia akidi. Naona ishara pale ikisema kwamba huenda umesalia waheshimiwa wawili tu, alafu akidi itakuwa inafikiwa, na akidi inapofikiwa basi kikao hiki kitakuwa kinaanza rasmi. Na kabla ya hapo ni kufahamisha kwamba kuna mswada wa bunge la taifa nambari 50 wa mwaka 2022 kuhusu watu wenye umri wa makamu, wale ambao tayari wamefikia uzee. Mswada huu unawakilishwa na Mheshimiwa Gathoni wa Mshomba, ambao utakuwa unasomwa kwa mara ya pili. Naona ishara tayari akidi imeweza kufikiwa. Hivyo basi uniruhusu mtazamaji ni kurejeshe moja kwa moja kwenye ukumbi huu ili uweze kufuatilia orodha ya shughuli na kikao hiki alasiri ya leo. Asante na nakutakia utazamaji mwema.
Honorable members, we now have quorum to transact business. Yes. Okay. Clerk.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Order, honorable members. Order, honorable member talking to Museo. Take your seat, the nearest seat. Honorable members have a short communication to give on Speaker's Kamkunji on the rollout of digital hubs and public Wi-Fi by the Minister of Information, Communication and Digital Economy. Honorable members, I wish to report to the House that I have received a request from the Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and the Digital Economy seeking to engage members of this House on the planned rollout of digital hubs and public Wi-Fi countrywide. The program is part of the government's initiative to create a digital superhighway intended to give visibility to innovators, micro, small, and medium enterprises to widen their markets. Honorable members, appreciating the importance of the planned program in accelerating development, I have acceded to the request by the Cabinet Secretary. In this regard, I wish to invite you to the Speaker's Kamkunji tomorrow, Thursday, 12th October 2023, at 11 a.m. here in the National Assembly chambers. This is intended to facilitate the engagement between the Cabinet Secretary and you members so that you can be able to be abreast with what the ministry and the government is doing and what role you yourselves can play for the people you represent. The House is therefore accordingly guided, and I invite each and every one of you to come and participate so that you don't later raise questions that you would have gotten answers. Thank you. Next. The whole clerk. Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for that communication, and really not on a point of order, but just a request. That, Honorable Speaker, you do direct the clerk's office to probably circulate in the usual manner through WhatsApp and text messages to members. Because as you're aware, Honorable Speaker, today many members, some are the Turkana Cultural Festival, and others had attended a colleague's parents' funeral in Muranga. Therefore, many may not be here, so if the clerk's office could just circulate that message to members.
Excellent. Clerk, make sure you circulate on the channels of communication and the leadership of the House too. Both yourself, Majority Leader, and whoever is acting on behalf of Honorable Wandai, inform your members that this is an important Kamkunji, the first in my tenure, and I hope that it will bear fruit thereafter.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 11th October 2023, afternoon sitting. 1, Public Procurement Regulatory Authority report on performance of the special groups, women, youth, women, and persons with disability under the 30% preference and reservation scheme for January to June 2023. 2, report of the Auditor General and financial statements for Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022 and the certificate therein. 3, report of the Auditor General and financial statements for Kitutu Church and North constituency for the year ended 30th June 2022 and the certificate therein. Thank you.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Next. Order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable members, as you all know, today, Wednesday, our afternoon sitting starts with appearances of cabinet secretaries to answer your questions. I have a short communication to make on today's order paper on the rescheduling of cabinet secretaries' appearance to respond to questions in plenary of the National Assembly. Honorable members, as you are aware, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs and the Cabinet Secretary for Investments, Trade and Industry were scheduled to respond to questions during today's afternoon sitting as indicated in the order paper. Honorable members, you may recall that there was a realignment of ministries and state departments on the 4th of October 2023, which affected the two ministries, among others. I wish to inform the House, therefore, that I'm in receipt of a request from the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, requesting for a rescheduling of his appearance before the House to answer questions to a later date due to official commitments abroad. Also, the Cabinet Secretary for Investment, Trade and Industry, while expressing her earnest intention to appear before the plenary to answer questions, has requested for more time to familiarize herself with the new assignment. With these new developments, honorable members, I wish to allow the leader of the majority party to liaise with the CSs with a view to rescheduling the appearance of the cabinet secretaries to another date that is convenient to the House. But the question time for next Wednesday stands as scheduled. The majority leader will advise the clerk and the House on which ministers will appear next. Thank you. Yes, Honorable Milemba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the communication about the Cabinet Secretaries appearing before Parliament. And I totally agree with you, and I'm aligned. But, Honorable Speaker, I see a danger in future where members will be ready to deal with your questions, and the Cabinet Secretaries will actually have already sought permission not to have the questions listened to. Possibly you could also further give the House direction on how, in the event such a situation is going to occur, then the information can be begotten by members early enough so that the House is guided. Thank you.
I think not, Honorable Milemba, because when a matter is listed on the order paper, it becomes alive when it is called out. And that is the time that such a communication can be made. Secondly, you know that the House has taken a very dim view on any minister who has absented themselves from coming to the House. For the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the chair is aware that he's out of the country, somewhere in Europe. And for the gracious lady who has moved from East African Ministry to Trade, I think it's only fair that we give her a week, and I'll direct the majority leader that, subject to the return date of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the priority goes to the Trade Minister for next Wednesday, and if the Prime Cabinet Secretary is back, he must also appear on the same date. Thank you. Yes, Oundo. On the same issue?
just a small part.
Which small part?
Very small one, Your Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
I just wanted to go on record that government is a government in perpetuity. Indeed, while the reasons given might look plausible, but we shouldn't, as a House, entertain it, because government perpetuity, when a ministry is not the CS who prepares those responses. They're prepared for, they can sit down one afternoon and press themselves, read, and get to the same level of understanding. But since you have read ruled and the Speaker can never be out of order, just wanted to go on record that governments are government in perpetuity. So they shouldn't use excuses as were appointed yesterday to fail to come to answer questions in the House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I hear you. If the Speaker cannot be out of order, then you are. Yes. Yes. Yes, Deputy Speaker.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to give some information to the Honorable Professor Owundo, because it's only natural that work had already begun in that ministry for a year almost now. So obviously there are things that are halfway, that have begun. There are certain strategies and plans that are already in place. It's only normal for any self-respecting technocrat to get a handover report from the previous person of the House, which was happening this morning, and it's public knowledge. So I think you're being mischievous. Honorable Speaker, I think you're right to keep it, to hold him to be out of order. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Badi Twalib. Your mic is functional.
Thank you, Babu. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to take a statement regarding passing on of a student through fire tragedy in Godoma Boys in Kilifi County. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44.2c, I wish to request a statement from the Chairperson Departmental Committee on Education regarding the passing on of a Form 2 student, Master Fadhili Mushahali, through fire tragedy in Godoma Boys in Kilifi County on Tuesday, 10th October 2023. Honorable Speaker, a fire tragedy did occur in Godoma Boys at the wee hours of Tuesday, 10th October 2023 at 4 a.m. While all the students were in preps, it is of concern that Master Fadhili Mushahali was allegedly to be the only one that was affected, as he was in the dormitory alone. It is regrettable that the government of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, has poor fire safety standards and emergency procedures for schools and other public buildings. Honorable Speaker, fire attacks are not a new issue in Kenya boarding schools. The deadliest Kenyan school arson took place 20 years ago, Mr. Speaker, killing 67 students in Machakos County, southeast of Nairobi. The fires are particularly dangerous because they are usually lit in dormitories, as was the case in Lillian School. You may also recall that, Honorable Speaker, 25 girls perished in an unexplained blaze at a school in Bombolulu, near the coastal city of Mombasa in 1998. Since then, Mr. Speaker, action has been done, no action has been done by the government to mitigate such occurrences. So, Honorable Speaker, I therefore seek indulgence of the Ministry of Education through the Departmental Committee of Education to avail a statement explaining the circumstances that led to passing on of a student, Form 2 student, an innocent student, Master Fadhili Mushahali, through fire tragedy in Godoma Boys in Kilifi County. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman, Education. Is the chairman in the chamber? Vice Chair, Honorable Malulu Injendi.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, the chairman is not in the house, but I am in. Vice Chair, I think in 2 weeks' time we can give response to this.
Thank you. Bring a statement in 2 weeks and pass our condolences, collective condolences to the family of the young student. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable members, before we go to the next order, allow me to acknowledge the following institutions in the public and speakers gallery. In the public gallery, Mavile Academy, Nyali, Mombasa, Joy Gardens School, Embakasi West, Nairobi, Matungu University Students Association leaders from Matungu, Kakamega, Teremi High School from Kabuchai in Bungoma. On your behalf and on my own behalf, I welcome the students, their teachers, and whoever is accompanying them to the House of Parliament. And I dare say that Teremi High School from Bungoma is the school where yours truly attended from Form 1 to Form 4. Thank you. Member for Kabuchai, you've requested me to welcome your school. You can speak on behalf of all members.
Thank you.
From most jurisdictions we have visitors.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me actually welcome these very important institutions in our parliament. Taking in consistent, Mr. Speaker, that Teremi Boys High School, a school in which you yourself were from Form 1 to Form 4, Mr. Speaker, last week when I was in the school, when I checked the board of scores, Mr. Speaker, I saw your name was #1 that year. Then you joined Friends School Kamsinga. Mr. Speaker, it cannot be unmarked. Because, Mr. Speaker, this is an institution that last year alone, we took 376 students straight to university, Mr. Speaker. I know that as they sit up there, one time in one life, one of them will be Speaker as well where you are seated. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And also I want to thank the President of the Republic of Kenya, plus yourself, Mr. Speaker, for working hard to maintain CDF. CDF has really assisted these institutions, Mr. Speaker. We are doing very well with it. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Robert Mbui.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise on Standing Order 20A, designation of party leaders and whips. Mr. Speaker, early this year, the coalition, Azimio coalition, had a meeting and we had made a decision to remove the then Deputy Whip, the Honorable Sabina Chege. And when that decision was brought to the House, Mr. Speaker, you gave us advice, Mr. Speaker, and the advice you gave was that we needed to have a replacement because we couldn't proceed with the action of removal without a replacement. So, Mr. Speaker, we sat later, and as a coalition, we forwarded the name of the Honorable Mark Mwenje to be our Deputy Whip. Mr. Speaker, immediately after that, I think there was a court ruling that was, the matter ended up in court, and Mr. Speaker, you also indicated in your wise counsel that you could not be able to make a decision then because the matter was in court. But Mr. Speaker, as we talk now, the court has already made its decision, and the case that had been taken against us is no longer active. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to seek your guidance and your assistance, because as you've heard the Honourable Member for Kabuchai say, that you are a top student even when you're in Form 1 to Form 4. And I know that you are a wise, very wise leader. And now, Mr. Speaker, I am sure you're going to tell us that the Honourable Mark Mwenje can immediately assume office and start carrying out the duties of the Deputy Whip. Mr. Speaker, over to you. Thank you.
On the same issue? On the same issue, Yusuf? Yes, can I hear you?
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is not a true statement of the reality. In fact, as a matter of fact, this is a continuous case that the Political Parties Tribunal has already registered Sabina Chege and Kanini Kega as leaders of the Jubilee Party. So this is an issue that has multiple faces and should be handled the way it has been handled. Court cases come and go. This one was just a recent one registered in Kiambu and is not representative of the true picture of the Jubilee Party that is represented by the majority of the members of Parliament. And therefore, you should be judicious and careful in making any changes or any decisions on that matter.
Thank you. Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for your indulgence. Honorable Speaker, having listened to the Honorable Robert Mbui and the rejoinder from the member for Kamukunji, Honorable Speaker, I would also seek probably to advise our colleagues in the Azimio coalition to first sort their leadership issues outside of the floor of the House before bringing these issues to you and to us on the floor of Parliament. Because, Honorable Speaker, Jubilee is a political party and actually the third largest political party. And when Honorable Yusuf speaks as a member of Jubilee, as the third largest political party, which is by way of ranking in terms of parliamentary political parties, is even larger than Wiper. Honorable Speaker, then it cannot be then that a third largest party, parliamentary political party, can then be forced to act in a manner that is not in their favor, in the favor of the membership of that party. And really, Honorable Speaker, from the majority side, we have absolutely no interest in this matter. And we can only pray for there to be peace in Azimio, because when there is peace in Azimio, we'll have a more cohesive minority. But, Honorable Speaker, as much as it's also not my business to bring together the parties within the Azimio coalition, I also know as individual members of Parliament, we have our right of conscience and right of choice. And therefore, I would really implore on the leadership in the minority to get all the parties in Azimio to sit together and arrive at an amicable resolution of this matter. Because even going to court to resolve party matters in a coalition, and I know, Honorable Speaker, because we were in this House when the political parties' coalition bills were pushed through this House, Honorable Speaker. We know many members who are forced into Azimio against their will. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, understandably, with all the coercion that was going on in the last regime, there are members who may be feeling they are not in the right place, and we must understand them. And therefore, I would just like Honorable Yusuf plead with you to be quite judicious in considering all these issues and probably appeal to the leadership in the minority, and more so the party leadership within the Azimio coalition, which was a coalition by coercion, not a coalition of the willing like Kenya Kwanza. That is why you see in this coalition of the willing, Honorable Speaker, parties willingly joined this coalition, and even after the election, we have other parties like PAR, like UDM, like GDDP that willingly joined the Kenya Kwanza coalition. But in the coalition of coercion, where people are coerced to join a coalition, problems are bound to be often. And Honorable Speaker, today it is Jubilee, and I want to caution the Honorable Robert Mbui. And he's sitting pretty today as the deputy leader of minority in the Azimio coalition. Honorable Speaker, you know you have the copyright and intellectual property rights to a phrase that I want to caution the Honorable Robert Mbui. If things go the way they are going, soon and very soon, you might also be saying things will get messy and very noisy. Because knowing your elder brothers within that coalition, Robert, I would also beg of you to handle your friends in Jubilee with tender and caring hands, as you will expect them to handle you when your time comes, because that time is nigh and it's coming.
All the honorable members, I believe that is in jest, and we'll take it that way. Honorable Mwenje, you have no locus in this matter. Honorable members, Robert Mbui, the Deputy Minority Leader, you know, when this matter came here, I gave you a ruling based on fact and law. And some of you conducted yourself in a manner not to remember, in a very uncivil manner, but it's behind us. Now that you tell the House what you have said, I've consulted with the clerks and they have not received any court order to indicate what you are saying. So I can only make my comment, direction, and ruling upon receipt of the court order that you have made reference to. You are so guided. Next order.
Order number 8, the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2022. Question to be put.
Order, honorable members. Order, honorable Bowen. Take your seats. McLeod, take your seats. Concluded is now question to be put, and I now put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. As many as of that opinion say aye. Sorry. That's the next order. Hold on, members. Withdraw your eyes. Oh, sorry. I had moved to order number 9, honorable members. Order number 8 does not require calling the majority leader. So it is the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill. I now put the question. Order, majority leader. Take your seat. I now put the question at order number 8, that the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2022, be now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
A bill for an act of Parliament to amend the National Construction Act and for connected purposes.
Thank you.
Order number 9, motion, report of number 55 of 2022.